All right, let's talk Pittsburgh Steelers. Training camp is finally here. Football is almost back. An exciting time, of course, around the National Football League. And we've got some great Steelers news for you guys, talking about the emergence of a young star playmaker, getting some great support, some great endorsements. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, so we know going into the training camp phase, right, the Steelers have one of, if not their biggest question, involves the wide receiver position. Specifically, who's going to be wide receiver two opposite the great George Pickens? Obviously, the Steelers have made a lot of moves at this position going back a number of years in this offseason too, but it looks like there's one guy in particular who's getting a massive endorsement when you read between the lines from the most important player in this decision here, and that is quarterback Russell Wilson. Let's pull up the report right here, and then we can talk about it more in detail on the other side. This is from SI.com. Speaking to the media at arrival day of training camp, Wilson was asked what he liked about the receiving core he will throw to in 2024. The veteran QB had plenty of good things to say about teammates. We've got plenty of playmakers, he said. Obviously, GP, George Pickens, is a special player. But Wilson went on to single out several more of his receivers' further individual abilities. And pay attention here. This is important here. Look what Wilson does. He says, I think Calvin Austin has been amazing all offseason. He said, just watching his speed, his ability to get in and out of routes. Calls Austin amazing, highlights his speed in and out of routes, right? Those are high praise, really specific. Van Jefferson, his diligence. I don't really know what that means. And he says, I've spent a lot of time with these guys in the offseason, throwing in guys like Quez Watkins, Scotty Miller. There's so many guys I'm excited for. Look at what Russell Wilson said when you compare his words when it comes to Austin and everybody else. It's clear Austin made a really strong impression on Russell Wilson, and I think it's clear that Austin will be wide receiver two for the Pittsburgh Steelers based on this. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, but first, Pittsburgh fans, in the comment section below, got a kind of an interesting question for you guys here. Obviously, a lot of great position battles, of course, with the wide receiver room this training camp, but give us another position battle that you think will have a huge impact as well for the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a couple really interesting ones, but give us the one you think will have the biggest impact, the position battle this year at training camp, and put it in the comment section below. And while you're down there in the comment section below, make sure you check out the description box for our affiliate link to our recommended book to get you ready for this upcoming season. It is Playmakers by Mike Florio. Highly recommend the book. Obviously, we bought it, we read it. It's a great read. Look, whether you like Florio or not, it's a really well-written book. I highly recommend it for everyone to get you ready for the National Football League. Got a lot of great ins and outs in it. And if you do buy it, please use our affiliate link. You'll see it in the description box below. But Miles, on to you now. What do you think of this latest Steelers news?
Yeah, Nick, and like you alluded to, that just kind of what he said about Austin is more important about who else he talked about. The depth he went into, he gave, a full sentence or two about Austin, gave a word about everybody else, if not just lumping them all in together. I think that goes to what you said. He made a strong opinion. Now, going to the beginning, yeah, of course we all know George Pickens is good. That is established. And I don't think George Pickens needs praise. I think George Pickens could really use a healthy dose of humble pie. And I think, it's good Russell Wilson treat him that. Yeah, he's pretty good. But Calvin Austin, he really did. He was really good. So I think he's handling the locker room well. We're reading into like a small paragraph that Russell Wilson said. But I think this just shows he is that guy that knows how to handle a locker room. He knows how to handle different personalities and doing and such. I think we see, like you said, there's a strong impression Calvin Austin has made on him. We've talked about it numerous times this offseason. Calvin Austin, the speed that he brings, just the game-changing ability. With a competent quarterback, I think we're going to see a much different Steelers offense. And not even just quarterback. We're talking about better offensive coordinator as well. I think that Calvin Austin is really going to have his moment in the sun, his time to shine this season, because I think Russell Wilson, with everything he has said, this is going to be a Steelers offense that really breaks the top off things and starts to open up the passing game. If I'm a Steelers fan, I would be very excited about what's going to go on this season.
Well, especially when you consider that a few days ago now, Russell Wilson actually talked about Austin. Really, he compared Austin to Tyler Lockett, a receiver that Wilson obviously had with the Seattle Seahawks. And I think it's very interesting because Lockett was also a big play speed guy, a little smallish, a little undersized. But everyone has to take a step back and realize who Russell Wilson is as a quarterback. we all kind of like remember the highlight plays with him scrambling around and doing crazy throws and stuff like that. But really, what made Russell Wilson really good when he was with the Seattle Seahawks was his ability to quick snap, take a quick drop, and then just drop a teardrop 50-yard bomb down the field that falls out of the sky into a receiver, a speed demon running down the field like Lockett. That skill set, that ability to throw such a beautiful, accurate deep ball is perfect. It was perfect for Lockett. It is absolutely perfect for Austin as well. And I think that's what we're going to see with the Steelers offense as we get into 2024 is that Austin will be that speed threat, that vertical threat, that guy that Russell Wilson had in Seattle but didn't have in Denver, and he's got him back now in Pittsburgh. That big play threat that honestly has been missing from the Steelers for a number of years now, except for when Pickens goes totally off like he did against the Bengals around Christmas time last year. If Pickens doesn't go crazy, the Steelers need another big play threat. We all know it, right? We got a guy like Freiermuth who can work in the middle of the field and do some good things. We get it, right? Jefferson is diligent, according to Russell Wilson, right? He'll do some good things. But when you talk about a big play, game-changing threat, that's exactly what Russell Wilson needs to be successful, and that's exactly what Austin brings to the table. I think the Steelers have found a match made in heaven here with Calvin Austin and Russell Wilson.